So about a month ago, we bought a smoker and we love it. We use it all the time, and we've come up with a rib recipe that is so good, and I'm going to share it with you today. So the ribs we use are from Costco. They're about 3 pounds each, and we have 2 racks of ribs here. We use apple wood chips, which is absolutely delicious with the pork ribs that we're using. And you can get this brand of apple wood chips from Amazon, and it's super good. I'll leave a link to it down in the description if you're interested. And when it comes to using the wood chips, some people, when we were kind of reading about what's best, some people recommend using wet wood chips, some recommend using dry wood chips. We like to use both, like half and half. The dry wood chips burn faster, the wet ones burn longer, and so we kind of like having the best of both worlds and keeping it consistent as long as we can. So we recommend doing that. And this is our smoker. It's a Masterbuilt 40-inch. It's from Amazon. And so far it's been fantastic. I'll leave a link to it down in the description below in case you're interested. And I'm just gonna let you in on one more little tip before we get started that'll make your cleanup so much easier. So I'm just gonna open this up and show you here. There's a water tin down here, and we filled that up to the fill line. It's about halfway full, but there's a fill line so you'll know how much water to put in it. And then to make your cleanup easier, right above that, we lined the metal sheet with foil so that it catches a lot of the drip and doesn't leave a whole lot of mess inside your smoker. Just remove that foil and it cleans up super easy. Same thing on the bottom. We lined the metal sheet with foil there too. Oh, and when you're preheating this for the ribs, you're going to want to heat it to about 235 degrees. And altogether, this recipe will take about 4 hours to cook. So let's get started. So we are going to prepare the meat before we put it in the smoker. And like I said, this whole thing takes about 4 hours. So we're going to put the meat in the smoker for 2 hours to cook. And then we're going to remove the meat, add the barbecue sauce, wrap it up in foil, and then put it back in the smoker again to cook for 2 more hours. And then after that, you can eat your ribs, or if you want, you can put the ribs back in the smoker without the foil for about 30 minutes, and it'll caramelize the barbecue sauce on the ribs real nice for you. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rinse the meat off with cold water. So you want to make sure you rinse it off real nice. We washed our meat off with cold water, and now we're going to pat it dry. And just so you know, some ribs come with a membrane on the bottom, and Costco removes that for you. But if you do have that on the bottom of your ribs, you just want to make sure you get rid of that before you cook it and put your seasoning on it and everything. So we're just going to pat our ribs dry. So we just got done with washing and patting dry our ribs, and we're going to season them a little bit. We're going to keep it real simple because we're putting a homemade barbecue sauce on here, which will give it a lot of flavor. So we're just going to put some salt and pepper on. And I already put the salt on, so just adding some pepper. Then I'm going to make sure I get both sides and rub it into the meat real good. You don't want to put too much, just enough to give it a little bit of flavor. Okay, we're going to put our meat in the smoker now that it's prepped and ready. We're going to put 1 rack of ribs on different racks in the smoker. Okay, we're going to put our wood chips in now. And be careful, these things are hot. So we're going to put about half dry, half wet wood chips, like I said before. Yeah, hear that sizzling? It's hot. Just a couple other things I forgot to mention before. You're going to want to leave this all the way open where the smoke comes out so that you don't trap too much moisture in the smoker while your meat is cooking. And also you're going to need to replace the wood chips every 45 minutes. So I will probably replace the chips about 2 more times. About 2 more times before we take it out and put the barbecue sauce on, and then put it back in for 2 more hours. All right, we've cooked our ribs for 2 hours, and now we're ready to load them up with our delicious homemade barbecue sauce and then put them back in the smoker for another 2 hours. And then after that, we're gonna take them out, get them out of the foil, and then stick them back in the smoker for 30 minutes just to get the barbecue sauce nice and caramelized on your ribs for you. And then you're done and you have your homemade delicious baby back ribs. All right, let's do this. Okay, now we're gonna take our ribs out of the smoker and unwrap them so that we can get the barbecue sauce caramelized. It's very drippy barbecue sauce. Okay, we'll be back in 30 minutes and they'll be all done. Okay, well, it's been 4.5 hours, but I think it's well worth the wait. I wish you guys could smell these things. I'm so excited. Let's take them out. Does that look delicious or what?